So welcome back everyone, Triple M here. Today we're unboxing and testing the TVision HUB from T-Mobile, and this is powered by Google TV. Now this is a brand new device. It's set to compete with your streaming devices such as the Chromecast with Google TV, your Firestick of course, as well as your TiVo Stream 4K. Now this does have some hardware additions which makes this pretty competitive, but what we don't know is what's under the hood, and that's what we're going to really focus on today. But we're going to take an overview look at this hub, unbox it, get it set up. Before we do, head over to the channel, hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Let's go. So the box is going to be pretty standard. TVision HUB, powered by Google TV. And on the back is going to have just a basic picture of what the device is going to look like. Nothing else going on. Let's go ahead and get it open. This is what it looks like. You can see it does just say TVision HUB. It is a flexible dongle here, as you can see. Let's go ahead and we'll get this plastic off. All right, so here's the hub itself, and this looks pretty premium. It does look a lot like the Chromecast with Google TV. HDMI right here. On the back, we have a Ethernet. We're not sure if it's gigabit. We're going to test it out here in a little bit. We do have a micro USB for power. So just reading the instructions, it seems like this is actually a pairing button for your remote control. So it says that if you're having remote trouble issues, press the remote button on the hub for 3 seconds to pair it again. And on this side, we have a USB-C. And with this opens a lot of new possibilities, and I'm excited to go ahead and test it out. Let's go ahead and get this off, and let's see what else is in the box. So we have a manual here, quick start guide. It's going to tell you how to get everything set up. We also have our power brick. This does come with a micro USB cable, and this is for power. Fancy salt packet. Last two things in the box, we do have a set of AAA batteries. Really appreciate them providing that for us. And of course we have the remote control. So the remote itself looks pretty sweet, guys. This is that middle ground. It's not too small, nice size, doesn't have too many buttons, and it looks like the buttons are carefully thought out. So up top we have our TV, we have our input selection. We also have a guide button, record button, box. So this is look like it's to power the device itself off. This one is probably for the TV, so it should program to your TV. We have our navigation here in the middle. Back, we have our Google Assistant, home, volume up and down. We do have our mute. It does say sound equalizer. So I wonder if that's a double functionality. We'll test it out as well. Channel up and down. We do have our TVision button. And if you guys watch my intro, TVision is or was a streaming service that T-Mobile had. I think they got rid of it last April. So TVision service is not a thing anymore. So I wonder what this button does. We also have a Netflix button and YouTube button below. It's a nice looking remote control, and for the most part, this does look like a pretty well thought together device. And just to give you a frame of reference, this is a Chromecast with Google TV. You can see the size is almost identical. Dongle on the Chromecast is a little bit longer, and the TVision HUB is going to be a little bit thicker. But for the most part, there's not much in between them. Here's a tiny comparison of the remote controls. Again, there's not much in between them. This is going to be a lot smaller. It does have the basic buttons, volume rocker on the side. This has all the buttons facing, so depending what you like, I feel like the TVision remote is a little bit better, feels better in your hand. This is a little bit small. Sometimes your thumb is not where it needs to be. So for the remote, at least I'm gonna side with this until I test it out. Now again, of course, got to compare this to the Firestick. The Firestick, we all know the design here. It is going to be a little bit shorter depending how you look at it. This has the dongle, of course. Thickness going to be similar, but both devices are pretty tiny. And again, the remote controls are more similar as far as size, but again, the functionality, I believe, a lot more going on here with the TVision remote. As far as some of the specifications and features, this is a 4K device, so it does come with 4K HDR. It does have the Google Play Store, limited Google Play Store, that is Bluetooth remote with Google Assistant. That's big upgrade to have Bluetooth versus IR. That means you don't have to point directly at the device. This also has support for your recommendations, so it is Google TV, so we'll learn what you like to use and recommend it. And last but not least, this has a USB-C and a LAN port built in. We're going to test that out here in a little bit. As far as some of the under the hood features that's not advertised, the operating system is Google TV. This is based on Android 11. The CPU is going to be a quad-core ARM Cortex A35, and this maxes out at 2 gigahertz, 2 gigs of RAM, 4.5 gigs of internal storage. The GPU is a Mali G31 GPU, and it does have Wi-Fi 5, so 2.4 and 5 gigahertz at 802.11 ABGYN and AC. And last but not least, it does have Bluetooth 4.0. So let's go ahead and get this set up, then we'll test all the functionality. So getting the device set up was pretty straightforward. You plug it in, it gives you instructions how to get your remote connected. Then it tells you how to actually sign into this device. Now you do have a couple options. If you have a Google or Android device, you can use that to get your device connected, or you can go through the manual setup on your screen. Now during the setup, I was prompted to do an upgrade, so that's exactly what I did. And after the update, it gives you some additional options to add your favorite applications, streaming applications that you may want to use. So another thing I wanted to point out, guys, is a lot of questions around this TVision button, just because TVision is no longer a thing. So what does this TVision button do? Let's go ahead and find out. All right, so looks like the TVision button brought up your network speed test and brought up the network detection. I'm not sure how helpful this is, but if you go to a network speed test, it doesn't actually tell you the speed, guys. It just tells you if you have the ability to stream music, watch HD videos, watch 4K videos, or do high-speed game. And you can see that is achievable with this current network connection. Let's go back and see what the network detection does. All right, so I guess this tells you if your network is okay. So that's what the TVision button does. Like I said, this used to be a streaming service. Now that they no longer have it, this is probably just a placeholder they can use for different things until they either come up with another service or another use for this, but that's what that does. So here's what the system looks like at first boot. So if you're familiar with the Google Chromecast with Google TV, it's the exact same operating system. So up top, you're gonna have your main menu. So you have For You, which is gonna have your recommendations. So you can see I have some YouTube TV stuff, some apps, continue watching, popular movies, goes into some more different categories, as you can see there. All right, some YouTube stuff, sitcom, a lot of different recommendations. But the cool thing about this is that this is actually really smooth, as you can see there. So I can move it up and down. It's very responsive, and it's just as quick as the Google TV. Now, if you're tired of recommendations, you can go ahead and hit the Manage Service button at the bottom, and there you can turn off some of those recommendations that might be on that might be recommend shows that you either don't have a subscription to or you're not interested in. So that's something to definitely keep in mind if you're seeing too much on your main menu. So next tab is going to be your live area. This is going to display the live content that's available to you. You're going to have your movies tab, your shows, and again, very smooth. Your applications. Now if you go down, you're gonna have your apps, and you can see all your apps right there. Further down, you can search for apps and games. So this is where you'll essentially download your applications, guys. You have different categories and different areas that you can go ahead and check out. So like I said, this is based on the Google Play Store, so you should be able to get anything that you're normally able to get on your favorite Android TV device. All right, next you're gonna have your library, and when you go over, this is where you're gonna have your notifications and your account information. So you have your settings right there, which you can go and you can see everything about your device. You can see everything about your device. You can see the Wi-Fi you're connected to, your apps, your systems, and the basic setting you can go ahead and navigate to from here. So for you guys that are asking about third-party applications, yes, you can install third-party apps, and this is how you do it. So in order to install third-party apps on this device, you will need to go to developer mode. And to do that, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to go to our settings. So go all the way to the right, settings. And we're going to go down to system. And we're going to click on about. Now once we get to about, guys, scroll down and you want to select Android TV build. This is where you want to click, and what you want to do is just click your OK button, and it normally takes about 7 clicks for it to put you into developer mode. So let's go ahead and try it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm now a developer. So now I should be able to go in and install those third-party applications. So once you see that notification that you are now a developer, you want to go back and go back again. And this time you're going to go to your applications. Move over. And you want to go down to where it says security and restrictions. And now you want to turn on unknown sources. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. For this part, I will be installing IDA64. It is an app that just basically shows you what's going on or what's under the hood of your device. For this one, we are using the FX File Explorer. It is free from your app store. I'm going to go ahead and install IDA64. Now, IDA64 is one of those apps that's going to allow you to see what's under the hood of this device. So let me go ahead and we'll just install. We'll go ahead and allow that. And let's go back in. I'm going to go to our media card. I'm going to go down to IDA64, install. And let's go ahead and open it. Let's go ahead and we'll do a couple speed tests to see what we're getting from the Wi-Fi chip and then what we're getting from the actual Ethernet. And just to mix it up a little bit, we'll throw a couple USB to Ethernet adapters just to see if those speeds vary. So we're going to go ahead and open the Analytics application. Probably one of the best speed test apps out there, especially for your Android devices. So right now I am connected to the 5 GHz network. I am on the T-Mobile whole home internet, and you can see I'm getting about 212 megabits per second download. Looks like I'm about to get 9 or 10 on the upload. Let's go ahead and we'll try it on the Wi-Fi 6 network just to see if that speed changes any. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just switch over to the T-Mobile directly. Current connection is Wi-Fi 6. So if this had Wi-Fi 6 capability, we would have seen a big jump, but looked like it doesn't. So we're still hovering around 213. I just keep in mind on T-Mobile internet, that's about what speeds I get. I get between 150 to 300 to 400, depending on the type of day. So not bad in itself. 213 megabits per second on the download and 8 on the upload. Let's go ahead and we'll plug in an Ethernet cable. And the cool thing about this, of course, is that it does have a network jack built right in, so we can go ahead and just snap it in. And we'll just see right here, it does tell you that we are currently wired in via Ethernet. So that's how you know it should switch. Let's do another quick test. All right, so this is very important, guys. Even though I have a wired network connection, still got way below what I did on the Wi-Fi. What this is telling me that the actual Ethernet port on there is not gigabit Ethernet. If you have decent Wi-Fi like I do, you're better off going with the Wi-Fi connection over using the Ethernet port. Curious, I have a USB-C to Ethernet adapter. Let's see if we can plug that in. And of course, cool thing about this, it does have the USB-C port in as well, so I can just plug it in directly here. So just move it to the side and we'll give it a second. All right, connect it to Ethernet. All right, let's do another quick test. So that's actually very interesting. Looks like Ethernet port like this one connected directly is going to give you better speed than connecting directly into the port in the back. So that was and I'll go ahead and link all these in the description. So what I have is a Ugreen Ethernet to USB-A adapter, and I'm going to try it with this USB-C to USB-A and just kind of see if that will work. So plugging that in there, plug in the Ethernet. All right, we are getting the activity light right there. All right, Ethernet's connected. Let's go ahead and we'll do a quick test. All right, so getting around 116, 117. Just to summarize, guys, looks like with the Ethernet port on it, you're not going to get over 100 megabits per second. It is limited to that, it seems like. However, if you use the USB-C to Ethernet adapter, you are going to get a little bit better speeds. But the best route, if you have decent Wi-Fi, so use the Wi-Fi, you are going to get faster speeds. All right, guys, we're going to do a quick benchmark, and this will give us the overall performance of the device. And after it's all done, I'll let you guys know where it compares to your Chromecast, to your TiVo Stream 4K, as well as your Fire TV stick. You can see my overall score is a 367. On my graphics test, it scored a 311. On my physics test, or this is where it tests the actual processor, it scored 1009. And just to compare this to other devices that perform the same test, the Chromecast or Google TV scored a 576. The new Fire TV Stick 4K Max scored a 398. The TiVo Stream 4K scored a 3667, and the On UHD streamer scored a 357. So not the best scores by itself, but I know the performance of these devices are not solely based on the score. So wanted to really test out our streaming applications. You can see we have Netflix, we have Prime Videos on here. We also have Pluto TV. Let's go ahead and we'll launch Pluto. All right, so we're not going to really play the content, just let it sit for a little bit. It is going to give you a quick tutorial, but I'll go ahead and cut it before anything is selected. So Pluto is working with no issues, and I really don't see this device having a problem with any of the streaming applications. Let's see what else is out there. So this is Google TV, official Google TV. So this is going to have the official app. So no issues there. Not a lot of these cheap Chinese boxes. Netflix won't work and it will have weird issues. But with this is an official Google TV. So you should be able to do anything you want. And you can see I can go through, I can watch whatever I want to watch. Obviously, I can't watch it here or show any of the content, but works with no issues. Let's go over to YouTube and see if we can watch 4K videos. All right, so this is YouTube. This is a 4K video, and we'll get into the settings here in a little bit. But wanted to really see how this performed. Should let you guys know that that monitor is a 1080p monitor, so that's going to be the main output. But this is actually a 4K video. So let's go into the stats and just see what we're looking at. So let's go to our video settings. We want to make sure we are set to 4K, which we are. Also wanted to turn on stats for nerds. And let's go ahead and back out. All right, so as you guys can see, and hopefully this translates on camera, but this looks absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, guys. So you can see the display frame rate there is 1920 by 1080. The current optimal resolution is 4K at 24 frames per second. You can see there, we've only dropped 14 frames, guys. So doing pretty good so far. Below it gives you the connection speed, network activity, as well as the buffer health. What I'm looking at, it is looking pretty good, guys. Let me go ahead and see if I can fast forward a little bit. All right, so beautiful shot. So what this is letting me know that if you have 4K, whether it's on a USB drive, on the device itself, if you have 4K on Netflix, 4K and Prime Videos, YouTube TV, whatever the case is, even on YouTube, you can see it's handling it with no issues, and it looks really stunning in my opinion. Now, another cool thing is that this does have the built-in Google Assistant, so you should be able to use your voice controls to do certain things. So let's go ahead and we'll test it out. What's the weather like in San Francisco?
Right now in San Francisco, California, it's 49 degrees with rain. Today, it'll be raining with a forecasted high of 50 and a low of 43.
Let's try another one. Watch Seinfeld on All right, so pull right up. So you can see the voice assistant works pretty well on this. Netflix button works, YouTube button works as well. So the remote, in my opinion, is one of the best parts. Let's go ahead and we'll check out the guide button. We'll see what that does. All right, so guide button looks like it brings up live TV. This looks like it is YouTube TV, which makes sense. This is a Google device. And I should also let you know that this does control your television. This is a monitor, but if you have a television that you need to power on and off, this does have the ability to not only turn it on and off, but also has the input selection. That way you can select the correct input for your device. So the other thing I wanted to try out, and maybe this is not as important on this device because it has a different USB-C port. I wanted to see if OTG adapter will work on this. OTG, for you guys that don't know, has 3 basic ports. First is going to be your direct connection to your device. So this is going to plug into the T-Mobile device. Then you're going to have the power plug going to here, and then that leaves a USB port free. This can come in handy for a lot of different things, but wanted to see if that works for this device because I know a lot of people will ask about it. So in order to set this up, I will need to disconnect the power. And let me go ahead and plug it back in. I wanted to test out this pretty cool air mouse that I purchased and reviewed not too long ago. But what I'm gonna do is just plug in the actual USB dongle. And we'll go ahead and turn this on. We do have some power. So it looks like I'm getting nothing from the OTG adapter. Let me try this on the normal USB-C to USB-A adapter in the other port. All right, so for the most part, look like that part is working. You can see there, see the air mouse on the actual screen. I can move it up and down. I can go over. I can use this to kind of drag it where I need to. And I said this in reviews before, if you're gonna make one of these devices, please just include the air mouse. The air mouse just brings a lot more functionality to any of these devices. And I think it's a great addition. So with only a little bit over 4 gigs on this device, storage is gonna become an issue. Good thing about this is that it does come with a USB-C port, which you can use to not only add external storage, but adapt storage as well. If you guys are wondering what the difference is when you adapt storage, basically that storage becomes a part of your system. So once you adapt the storage, you can't use it on any other device. It stays with that system and it becomes internal storage for that system. Of course, you can plug in a USB directly to it and that will work as well. But if you want something that you can use to install applications on, adapting storage is probably the best route. So to set this up, I do have a 32 gig USB drive plugged in. What we need to do is go to our settings. I'm gonna go to our system, go down to storage, and over you can see internal storage, total space there is 4.8 gigs. My USB storage is 31 gigs, and when I go down to USB storage, I have 2 options here. I can eject or I can erase and format as device storage, and that's what I'm talking about when I say that's how you adapt storage. So to do that, guys, just click on it. It's gonna give you the warning that, hey, once this is formatted, this drive will only work with this device. Formatting erases all current data stored on the drive. To avoid losing any data, you can go ahead and back it up. So for this, I already erased everything. It is formatted in FAT32. Let's go ahead and we'll just format, and what it'll do now is just combines it and gives you more storage to play with. Of course, with this device, you can connect your Bluetooth devices, which includes headphones. In this case, I am using a Bluetooth controller. We're gonna play some games here in a little bit, but you can see the Xbox wireless controllers right there. Let's go ahead and get that paired. Now I am paired, guys. You can see Xbox controller is controlling everything. Let's go ahead and back out. So gaming on this device was fine. This obviously isn't meant for gaming. It isn't a gaming device. It is streaming first, but it's capable of handling games with no issues. As you can see here, I am playing Asphalt. It is playing smoothly. There's no stuttering, no jittering, no drop frames for the most part, and overall just a great experience when it comes to gaming. So having said all that, let's go over some of the pros and cons of this device. So I love the fact that it does have a built-in Ethernet port. That will give us some flexibility. That way you don't have to depend on Wi-Fi. So USB-C is another great addition. It's unrestricted. included, so it's there for you to add your storage, for you to connect your devices that requires a dongle or whatever the case is, add your hard drive, so that's there, and you can always hook up a splitter on it to get more functionality out of it. I was able to install third-party applications. The remote itself was really good. I love the layout of it, love the size, and overall I think they did a good job putting that together. As far as some of the cons, the Ethernet port is 10100. That means your max speed is about 100 megabits per second. So if you guys have a fast internet, you won't be able to take advantage of that through the Ethernet port. So that in itself is pretty bad, but where I see the upside is that if you just want a stable connection and you don't want to rely on Wi-Fi, the network port is there for you. And the fact that you only need about 30 megabits per second to watch 4K movies just makes it enough for you to get by. The other thing I really didn't care for is a TVision button that isn't used for TVision anymore. Instead, it brings you to the network speed test, so that's something that I feel like they're just having a placeholder just in case that service comes back. Just wanted to mention that the overall bench scores and everything was about on par with what we see with some of those streaming devices. The price is going to be a struggle for some people. It is $49, so it is about what the Chromecast, the Fire TV 4K Max is priced. But with that price, you do get the addition of a USB-C, which means you don't have to buy additional adapters. You also get the Ethernet port, which means less adapters. So in my opinion, it's a great buy. So that's it for this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this device. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, share this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.